Hi, it's Marieta. Thank you so much for tuning in. In today's video, I'm going to talk about E2 visa requirements. Specifically, I'm going to discuss what you need to do if you want to invest, whether you need to invest the whole amount or you got to be in the process of investing. And I'm going to actually read the official source first, and then I'm going to break it down for you. So let's start. One of the requirements of E2 investor visa is that you must have invested or you must be in process of investing substantial amount of capital. So first, let me read the official source and then I'm going to break it down for you. So let's do this. Concept of investment and in the process of investing means you must assess the nature of the investment transaction to determine whether a particular financial arrangement may be considered an investment within the meaning of the law. The core factors relevant to your analysis of whether the applicant actually has invested or is in the process of investing in the enterprise are discussed below. Number one, source. The source of investment might include capital assets or funds from saving, gifts, inheritance, contest winning, loans, collateralized by the alien's own personal assets, or other legitimate sources. The source of funds need not be outside of the United States. The alien must demonstrate possession and control of the invested capital assets and funds. Number two, investment taking a risk. Concept of investment connotates the placing of funds or other capital assets at risk in the commercial sense in the hope of generating financial return. E2 visa status must not therefore be extended to non-profit organizations. If the funds are not subject to partial or total loss, if the business fortunates reverse, then it is not an investment in a sense intended by this immigration law. If the funds availability arises from indebtedness, these criteria must be followed. Indebtedness, such as mortgage debt or commercial loans secured by the assets of the enterprise, cannot count towards the investment, as there is no requisite element of the risk. Number two, only indebtedness collateralized by the alien's own personal assets, such as second mortgage on a home or unsecured loans, such as loan on an alien's personal signature, might be included. Number three, funds must be irrevocably committed. To be in a process of investing for E2 purposes, the funds or assets to be invested must be committed to the investment. Number four, payments for leases or rentals as investment. Payments in the form of leases or rents for property or equipment might be calculated towards the investment in the amount limited to the funds devoted. Number five, value of goods or equipment as investment. The amount spent for purchase of equipment for inventory on hand may be calculated towards the investment. Intangible properties, rights to intangible or intellectual property might be considered capital assets to the extent to which their value can be reasonably determined. Okay guys, so I don't want to really overwhelm you with this language. So therefore I do want to break it out for you so you can understand what the hell is going on here, okay? So first things first. Let's talk about the source, okay? The source of investment might include capital assets or funds from savings. So in other words, you can use any kind of legal source. Everything that is legal is good to go. However, if you cannot show how you got the money, where the money came from, that is illegal. And so if you want to use a gift, good, but you have to show it. You have to prove it. Let's say your mom is going to give you $50,000. Then you have to show that she got it from legal source. Everything has to be recorded and everything has to be shown that this is an actual legal source. Okay? Now, if you want to use a loan, you can totally do that, but make sure that you're going to use collateral. And what do I mean by that? You have to use your assets as a backup. If you are not able to pay off the loan, then there should be some sort of penalty. That is actually the collateral. But if you want to give away your equity, the equity from the US entity that you're about to invest into, that doesn't count for E2 visa purposes. Just like I read a while ago, you cannot use collateral which is going to be equity in your future company or the company you just incorporated in the United States for the purpose of E2 visa. And therefore, if you want to use a loan, make sure to back it up with collateral, which is the personal asset. For example, you might own a car or apartment or a land property in your home country that can be used as a collateral, okay, if you intend to use a loan. You also can use inheritance, okay? You can use your savings. You can use your own dividends, maybe from existing business. All that is a legal source and you can use it, or you can combine one of these, okay? You have to be in control and in possession of these funds. If someone gives you a gift, 50,000 is just a promise and you don't have the funds in your account, doesn't count. You have to show that you are in a possession, in control of these funds, meaning you got the money already in your bank account, okay? Intellectual property. Yes, you can use intellectual property that can count towards your investment, or maybe you buy some equipment. Let's say you are investing into a restaurant, you buy chairs, tables. You know, this is actually actual investment and that counts towards your E2 visa. Funds must be committed. This is very important because people think that they can just wire money to the US. They wire some, let's say $100,000 to the account, and they think that they're going to wait until they get E2 and then they're going to wire the money back where the money came from. Ain't happening, guys. You cannot use money just to wire it and then withdraw the money and send it back. Doesn't work like that. Therefore it says funds must be irrevocably committed. So what it means is that your funds or assets must be invested and committed to the investment. So how are you able to show that? You already spent the money, or maybe you have some agreements, contracts, ongoing contract that you will pay, you will purchase that property if you get E2 visa. Or maybe your money goes to escrow account waiting for E2 visa approval. So it's subject to E2 visa approval. By doing so, you're showing the funds are committed, okay? Value of goods or equipment as investment, I already discussed that. Intangible property, I already discussed that. Right, and I already discussed the indebtedness. If you use a loan, make sure it's a secure loan. So concept of investment and in the process of you are in the process of investing. You either invested this money already, okay, or you are in the process of investing. Okay, and so for example, the total amount of investment is going to be 200,000, and you have to show that, let's say 50% from that you invested, 100,000 you already invested, you bought this and that, okay, or you pay people to create this app or software for you, and then other 50% is committed, meaning you have contracts, ongoing contracts that will be fulfilled once you are approved. Okay, so that way you are showing that you invested or you are in the process of investing, but the funds are irrevocably committed. Because if you just wire the money to the US and you're waiting to be approved, that's not going to happen. You're not going to be approved and you're not bearing the risk of investment. One of the requirements is you have to bear the risk of investment. So how you show that? You show that by actually investing or being in the process of investing, or by showing that the funds are irrevocably committed and you are taking the risk. Therefore, it has to be commercial enterprise. It cannot be non-profit, as I already mentioned, and you need to bear the risk of investment. Therefore, you're going to get your E2 investor visa. So I hope this helps, guys. Stay tuned for my next video, because in the next video, I'm actually going to talk about commercial enterprise versus active and real investment versus passive investment. So this is going to apply to real estate E2 visa investments. Okay, so stay tuned. And also, if you want to dig deeper, if you want to learn more about how to get E2, sign up for my webinar. I'm going to post a link below this video where you can sign up for free webinar and learn everything you need to know about E2 visa. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.